Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sunny, and today we're going to have a little bit of a high table discussion for you guys. And I'm going to explain to you guys why a certain percentage of the women will have a lot of difficulty voting for Kamala Harris. I'm going to explain that to you, and I'm going to start it from a dating perspective, right? And it's I know it's a little weird, but I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to move from there, and I'm going to explain to you guys why sending Roe versus Wade back to the states, the state level, why that is such a bad idea for women in particular. Okay, here we go. Welcome back. We had this conversation. I'm going to try and keep this one short. We had this conversation on one of the late night live streams. So some of the Sunnysiders know this already. Let's get into it. The biggest thing that I hear all the time, constantly, I hear it all the time. I hear from women, the biggest complaint that they have about men is they want like a man, right? I hear things like you should always date up, right? There's a hypertrophy or something they call it. Hypertrophy? Isn't that weightlifting? Hypergamy. Okay, whatever, man. It's a kind of hyper thing that's a real drag. But they're always trying to date. The idea is they're dating up, or the guy's not good enough, or they're leaving you for a better guy. And it's that kind of situation. Hey, man, I'm not knocking anybody about anything. I'm explaining something to you. So in the real world, like they say, oh, I want an alpha guy. I want a guy to lead. I want a guy who knows what he wants. I want a guy, I don't want to think. These are all things that I hear. They say, does he have a nice car? Is he taking you place? What's going on? You know, is the guy leading? These are all things that's common. You hear this all the time, and it's the biggest complaint. I'm not saying it's the biggest thing people are telling you to do. I'm saying it's the biggest complaint that I hear. That the man is not, you know, that the woman has to, you know, and you say the woman has to be the man. That's what you say. So it's like if you look around, it's like you see, like women they're trying to subjugate themselves. They're trying to. That's the whole point. He's better than me. So go for him. He's better than me. I know the media spins it around, or like the news is like, he's better than you. But that's not really the action, man. The concept is just that he's better. And that's what they're going for. So, and women would rather stay with someone, you know, you could see who's an alcoholic, who's violent, who's abusive, who's a loser, who's a drug addict, as long as he displays these traits of kind of being better in some way. Some people, you know, so that's just the deal. I'm not saying anything about anything. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just telling you what I hear. So that's the deal. So that's it. It's in the romance novels. It's in all the romance novels. It's in the movies, man. It's in everything. It's in everything they do. That's what they're looking for. So as the love hypnotist, I hear it constant. Like, that's what I hear. And so that's the deal. So it's easy to see why they would want to move in a certain direction as opposed to moving in another direction. All right? It's very unlikely that women who are programmed to subjugate themselves to a man, I'm using that word on purpose because something is going to come up in the conversation in a second. So if a woman is okay doing that to a man, like they're programmed to do that for a man, they're not programmed to do that for a woman. It's kind of weird. So there's a different type of thing there's a different type of thing, or a switch that has to be moved on. Like if you put your faith in that woman, then it means your man's not a man. Like it's something is like screwy in your world. All right, enough of the blah blah. You get that. So why is this a problem, Sonny? So we know why they do that. We know why they do that. There's a certain type of situation that's going to happen. Okay, you'll deal with it or you won't. The next situation. Why is Roe versus Wade sending it down to the state level so bad? Right? Well, like, why is that such a negative thing? Excuse me, in the grand scheme of everything. Because if you do that, oh, wait, let me go back to the Kamala Harris thing. I had a cute joke about that. The biggest complaint about Harris that I hear all over the place, even though she's kind of she kind of a little bit has some policies. She like the biggest complaint is that she's too girly. She's too much of a woman. She's not butch. Right? That's the biggest complaint you hear about Kamala Harris. She's pretty. She laughs. She's fun. She dresses. She's sexy. She's fun. That's the biggest complaint. She's not like a man. Think about it. So all the guys learning this, you know, is important. All the women learning this is important. Next, why is Roe versus Wade such a problem? If you send it down to the state level, you're going to have a situation where the women in the United States, all right, so if you have, say you have abortions in California and you don't have abortions in Texas, just as an example, whatever. If that's the situation, you're no longer subjugating yourself to a man, which is your lifelong desire. You're no longer, oh, I got a man to take care of me. So you're no longer doing that, right? You already have subjugated yourselves. The problem is the women in the States now are no longer equal. So the women in California have different rights than the women in Texas. Right? So there you go. It's that simple. So the women in Texas now have less freedoms than the women in California. In addition to that, you are no longer one nation under God. Clearly, you're not a nation under God. You're not one nation under God, because like the women are under the men, and then the women themselves are not equal. We talked about this on the channel. You're being divided and conquered. The sooner you realize you're being divided and conquered, you have to come to some kind of awareness and recognize who you are and why you're behaving the way you are. And then you have to look at it's very common to behave for people, men and women, to behave against their best interests because of some kind of thing they programmed into you. I'm the love hypnotist. This is what I do. So, guys, so that's what's going on. So that's what's going on. So that's what's going on. It's up to you to do with that any way you will. It's up to you. I bless you. You know, I don't bless anybody, but like, I'm cool with whatever you decide to do. I really wish you everyone the best. But that's it. That's it. That's it. So that's the answer, man. That's why there's the problem with the women problem thing, and that's the problem. That's the thing. You're being divided and conquered. I wish you guys the best. Stay out of trouble. From TheSunnySide.net, I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the best of an amazing day, and I'll see you guys soon.